G'day, everybody, and welcome back to another 10 for 10. Troy, mates, you are in the hot seat today.
Mm.
We've had some pretty challenging questions come through over the last week or so, but yeah, looking forward to getting stuck into them and picking your brain and listening to your wisdom.
Yeah, good. Yeah, bring it on.
All right, so let's jump into it. You know how anybody that's listened to these videos in the past knows how this works. We ask 10 questions, and we get them answered within 10 minutes. So let's kick us off. I'm in construction. How do I get more consistency in my sales and avoid the cyclical nature of sales?
Yeah, good question. Look, I find, particularly in construction-based businesses, if you're either a small one and you're doing most of the sales and the operations yourself, or you've grown up and you've got some reps, maybe they're on the road, and what I typically find is between both of those examples, the salespeople are normally looking after the existing customers. I highly recommend you just have that weekly meeting and put more focus on chasing new customers. So create a list, top 100, target them, and then every week expect a new customer.
Good. Okay. So I'm an accountant. How do you approach dealing with an underperforming employee?
Yes. So to deal with an underperforming employee, I would. So step one, facts not feelings. So you need to implement effective KPIs. So utilization rate, efficiency, write-off stats, and billables for that week. So ideally, we want to have the stats. And then if there's issues, then you want to have some non-conformances and those things being tracked. That's step one. Step two is highly recommend if you think it, you need to say it. So get in the habit of being able to speak your mind, both good and bad. And then the third one is I would just write out your thoughts first, have the meeting, and then send the email. Just do those three things first. And I think you'll find you'll move the right direction.
Nice. Awesome. All right. So my sales team isn't performing the way that I want. How do I get more output from them?
Yeah, good question. Look, three things. One, I typically find salespeople are too broad in who they're focusing on. Get very, very specific. Why don't you just target a specific industry or client for that particular month? Create a list of 100 of them and get really right on that. Step two is you need to have really good KPIs. You need to have KPIs that you can track: number of calls, number of meetings, number of quotes, and then you need to be talking about them in those meetings. Then step three, use the stats from the top 100 campaign and from the KPIs to really target in on what the problem is to give them extra support in that area.
Awesome. All right. Thank you. So, how do I set new targets for staff when they haven't had them in the past?
Oh, look, yeah, I know where this question's potentially coming from. Look, just do it. Bring the team together, talk about them, just say, hey, team, we want let's set some KPIs. What are the KPIs that are really important for us to target? And the whole purpose of it is to be able to track, measure, and improve. So call the meeting, have the conversation, just do it.
Awesome. All right. I feel so overwhelmed. Where can I start to get a handle on my own time?
Sure. Um, Look, there's a really good activity called the start stop activity. So if you just imagine a piece of paper, in the first column, I want you to write down absolutely everything that you're doing. And then ideally, if you can have an estimate of around about the amount of time that you're spending on those tasks. And then I would move them all into the start stop column. So things you're going to start doing more of, you might add some things you're going to stop doing, and then just be really clear around where you're going to start spending your time.
Awesome. Okay. I feel like I'm making decisions on a whim. How do I make better decisions in my business?
Yeah, two things. One is you need to be really clear on your outcome. Like, what is it specifically you're trying to achieve? And then it's very simple. Does this help you achieve that or not? So, ideally, it's not just I want to grow, because that's not going to help so much. Secondary to that is KPIs. Like, ideally, you need to be able to track and manage your whole workflow from start to finish. So if you've got your direction where you want to go, and you've got your KPIs, you can use these to determine what the actual problems are or where to focus your time quite simply and what decisions to make.
What should I look for to know if I should pivot my strategy?
Yeah, okay. Well, so look, for me, strategy is the key part of a business. The worse your strategy is, the worse profit you have, and it flows right throughout the business. So for me, if the business is not working, if there's not enough profit, it's not geared up for it, then you need to change your strategy. So you're either a strategy to get a lot of cheaper things, or you want high margin stuff and less of it. So I would look at those two key things and then make a decision from there.
Awesome. All right. So I'm a manufacturing business. I've got team leaders in different departments on the shop floor, but they're not pulling their weight and keep dragging me into their work. How do I fix this?
Sure. Yeah, so I definitely see this, and I think what you need to do is you need to talk to your team leaders and really share with them the vision that you have for them. So you would say, look, my vision for you is that you're completely responsible and you look after your team, and that there's no involvement of me. So I'm just curious to know, what is it that you need from me to be able to reduce dependency from me. So declare the intention, make it really, really clear, and then have meetings to support the reducing of the dependency on you.
Awesome. All right. And lastly, what are the most common mistakes you see business owners make, and how can I avoid them?
um, yeah, look, the biggest one for me is the lack of strategy. Like even just today, I was talking to a guy and he was just like, "Oh, look, my service is on my website," and I said, "Well, that's the point. If you're trying to market or sell your service, then you're just a commodity, and that's a problem." So, like, I really think you need to know your strategy, who you're targeting very specifically. You need to understand your KPIs and have an effective structure, and you need to really adopt great systems to support the business.
Awesome. All right. Thank you, Troy.
Mm.
Lots of nuggets in there. Hope everybody got something out of that. Just remember, though, if you are loving this content, make sure you get in contact with us. Then check out our Frustration of Freedom school community. Make sure you smash the subscribe button as well for more of this content coming to you easier, and make sure you like the videos as they come through as well. If you're interested in getting 10 clients in 90 days, we've got a new course launched within the community as well that it's all centered around. So make sure that if you are someone looking for new clients, that you get in touch and join the community and be a part of our networking events, our Q&As. And if you want your questions answered and want some more one-on-one time with Troy and I, then make sure you get into the community, join, and make most of those Q&A sessions. But Troy, thanks again, mate. Really appreciate it. And look forward to seeing you on the other side.